Hey there, good morning. I'm John. Today is Wednesday, May 1st, 2024. This is my daily vlog, my regular ritual stand-up where I come in each morning and report to you and report for myself what I've been doing and what I plan to do next to make content creation indefinitely sustainable. Today marks the 18-month anniversary of this experiment. It's a year and a half. So I thought I would recap the journey so far while also giving you a standard pod update. So I'm going to do all that at the end, recap everything, and I'll show you the overall progress. I made some bonus graphics last night to kind of... Anyway, we'll see. I haven't done this before. It's been, again, a year and a half, and I haven't really done a total recap, so I'm going to do that. Let's start with yesterday. Yesterday was podcast editing day. Over 30 people showed up to the live stream, 10 a.m. over on Twitch, and I think every time someone renews, I put a little clip on my hat, and it was like a fan. It was, I think, must have been 7 or 8 people, maybe? Anyway, a lot of folks popped in, renewed their Prime sub. Thank you for that. That really helps. So got that done. It's just need to upload it still, otherwise it's all finished. Then in the afternoon, I worked on some graphics. I worked on graphics for the upcoming tier video. I worked on a thumbnail for the Friday plays. I did some reading and research, aka playing for the Friday plays. I did some pre-production for the long-term video I'm going to work on today. And then we had a team meeting in the afternoon. So it filled up the day pretty well. Let's talk about stats then. Still, actually, looking decenter than it has been lately. I have this arbitrary baseline that I'd like to be at, which is above 10,000 views and 50 subscribers on average over the last 7 days. We're at 12,000 views, actually just did dip below 12,000, so still well over 10. And subscribers per day is up to 44. You'll remember last week or week before we were in this doldrums down around the 20s, but that started to increase again, so hooray for that. No new milestone, but we're very close. We're about 30 away from another from 48.6, so hopefully we'll celebrate that together tomorrow if the trends continue. And then quickly talk about today. So today I plan on working on a long form video about the Coleco Revival units. There's a Berserk and Frenzy that was kickstarted that finally shipped, and I acquired a pair of them to take a look at. I have a video to do on that. Await delivery of a special delivery that's coming, hitting my doorstep that I shipped last week. I think I'll be able to do at least a look what I got video to tease what it is. Even if not, I can't break an embargo, so I have that. And then I'll do some more work on that tier video, of course, and I guess a little prep for the Friday plays. A lot of stuff kind of, I didn't prioritize the Friday plays. It's coming up sooner because I'll finish that tomorrow, of course. So, okay, so try to rush through that. Try to do as brief a recap as I can. This is great if you're just joining us for the first time, or you don't remember and weren't here from the beginning, or whatever. Here it is in a nutshell. Back in May of 2017, I started a little YouTube channel called GenXGrownUp, doing a couple of goofy things. Within a few months, I had drafted my buddy George to help me play with it a little bit. We got my buddy Mo involved as well. We launched a podcast. Also, we didn't know what we were doing. I mean, not that we do today, but we didn't know what a focus was or anything. We tried a bunch of different stuff. Initially, just like the podcast, it was general Gen X nostalgia, which the podcast still is. However, as YouTube evolves, what happens is they will reward you when a video does well, and you'll get lots of engagement. And then if you do one that's not in that same theme, they kind of punish you by not recommending it. So over time, the YouTube channel narrowed its focus to one of the many things we're already covering, which was video game history and nostalgia. It's not my only passion about Gen X nostalgia, but it's the one on YouTube that does the best for us. So that's become the focus, and it became the focus probably 2 years ago or so. We were narrowing in on that. Every time we tried something different, as you should always do, by the way, as a creator, don't just sit in that. Try something. Maybe something else will take off, but give it a chance. But every time we tried, it was like this, they're nudging you along this road until finally you are a niche channel, which we kind of are now. So I've had people ask me, why'd you pick video games? It's so competitive. I didn't pick it. It picked me, because the videos I do on that did well. So that was a hobby for 5.5 years from May of 2017. And then on November 1st of 2022, I was laid off from my job. Of course, it hit me hard. I'd never been laid off before. I was what I thought was fairly integral to the product that I worked on, but they didn't see it that way. So, you work at will. They don't want to pay you anymore. That's fine. So, I could have jumped into the job market. Instead, I chose to do this. I really love doing this creation thing, and I'm like, man, I'm not bad at it. I have a lot of fun at it. What if I can make it sustainable, make it a job, a career, or at least a more developed hobby that means I could do, not focus so much on work and enjoy more on my hobbies. And I don't think there's a rule that you must, in order to be happy and in order happy and support yourself and your family, you must also be miserable. I think there's room to find a middle ground and do something you like. And despite what my career has taught me all my life. So that's what I did. Since November of 2022, this is all I have done for work, doing creative stuff, doing voiceovers, doing videos, doing audio, doing all that stuff. It's you go, well, 18 months, you must have succeeded. You're great. Well, no, it's because I had a really good paying job before, and I built up quite a savings. So I'm making a little money off the stuff I'm doing, about a little over half of what I need, probably. Plus, I'm drawing from savings. And so I keep talking about what I have is this runway. If you're a plane on a runway, you have an X amount of time before you must either take off, succeed, or cut back on the throttle and get off the runway, which is, this would be a failed experiment. So I'm still on that runway, trying to get up to speed. So what I wanted to do is share with you, we talk about stats every day, but it's, through a microscope. We're looking at the last few days. I think it's very heartening, and it's very encouraging to look at what we've done and accomplished just in the last 18 months compared to the entire 5.5 years before that. So I built this graphic. So everything that you see in blue is going to be representative of what we accomplished over the last 66 months leading up to November 1st, that first 5.5 years that it was a hobby. And then everything in red is the last 18 months since I was laid off in November of 2022 till today, end of April, beginning of May 2024. So in the first 66 months, we got 2.2 million views. Pretty good for knuckleheads doing junk on the internet for a few years. In the last 18 months, though, 7.3 million more views. That's not on top. That's not including the 2.2. That's just in this 18 months, over 7 million views. So more than triple what we got in the first 5.5 years. So a lot of views. A lot of that you can contribute to a lot of shorts that we added in, but also lots more videos and lots more success and engagement in those. The next thing is hours viewed. They log this. How many human hours are spent watching your videos? In the first 5.5 years, 121,000 hours were spent watching my videos. In the last 18 months, 322.6 thousand. So again, nearly triple, more than double. And then finally, let's talk about growth. This one is, especially as the subscriber thing has kind of waned a little bit lately, let's look. In the first 5.5 years, we grew GenXGrownUp to 17,300 subscribers. And look, 10,000 was amazing. 15,000 was amazing. But it took 5.5 years to get there. In the last 18 months, GenXGrownUp has gained a further 31.3 thousand subscribers in just 18 months. Could it be more? Yes. Do we want it to be more? It needs to be to succeed. I would say the channel itself is a success. It's not a sustainable success, but look at the chart. Look at the chart and look back and look, hey, there's 5.5 years of dicking around, and here's 18 months of nose to the grindstone. Look what, and each of these things on the chart is not including the first 5.5 years, it's just what was accomplished in the last 18 months. So, usually I think that a look back is going to be, a post-mortem on all the things that went wrong. And there are plenty of things that didn't go as well as we had hoped, but nothing has been an outright failure. If anything, I have failed to grow as fast as I would like to in relation to the runway that exists. I think at this current rate, barring calamities, I feel like I have at least another 24 months under my belt. I don't think that the next 18 months is going to be incremental in the same way above the previous 18 months. But look, I think we're going to look back, and we're going to look at in 18 months from now, when we're at a 3-year mark, and look and see, look, how much did we accomplish in the subsequent 18 months? And I think it's going to be taller than this one. Even though there was some anomalous growth happening there, we're now going to build upon that previous stuff. So each morning when I say, hey, turn on the lights and camera and everything, and talk about what I'm doing to make this sustainable, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about growing to the point where now I'm putting money back into savings. Now I can afford things that I have been denying myself. Look, I don't mind living on a meager budget. I have found that I'm terribly happy with it. I'm making my payments. I'm not in arrears on any loans or anything. My credit cards are paid off, but I'm living hand to mouth. I want to not do that. I want to not give my wife that stress. I want to not give me that stress. I want to build this to a point that it's just the job you get up to and go to every morning. It's just that it's here in the house, and I love doing it, and it's a lot of fun. That's where I'm trying to get. And the good news is, if I fail, there's still a job market out there. But I've learned now I can live on a lot less money and be probably happier. Yeah. So that's what this experiment is about. That's what has been going on this last 18 months. I mean, if anything, if you missed any of that in the past, you can go back and look at the very first video in this vlog. There's a few scattered here and there. Look at the ones that have a lot of views, because they're typically when something big happened. But this is the first time I've done a recap of where we've been and where I hope to go so far. Yeah, I hope this has been interesting to you. Let me know what you think about this. What do you those of you like predictions? Do you have a prediction of when I'm going to be break even? That's a foolhardy guess, but yeah, I have had people ask me, hey, do a recap of where you're at, and I think this is a perfect time to do it on this little pseudo anniversary 18 months in. So, all right, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get after it on this day, because if we want those things to keep growing, I got to get back to work. So thank you so much for popping to check out today's vlog if you did. I'm sure by now you know that if you're here every day, I love you for that. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great Wednesday. Please remember to do something good for yourself, and I'll talk to you again next day. Bye-bye.